Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Boss Up and Glow Up with Lexi Sample. I'm your host, Lexi Duh. If you're new here, hi. I drop an episode every single Friday, so make sure you are subscribed so you're not missing out. And if you're returning, you already know what we do here. I love chatting with y'all, and I am here to help you boss the fuck up and be your best self. So keep on listening. Make sure you are subscribed, have my notifications on so you don't miss a therapy session. Okay, this is your free therapy. Stay tuned. Okay. Anyway, let's get into today's topic because it's something I've been thinking a lot about recently, and I've been reading a bunch of self-help books, and a lot of the books I've been reading kind of touches on a topic similar to this, and it's just hitting close to home, and it's comparison, contentment, and the whole grass is greener illusion, where grass is not greener on the other side. Grass is greener where you water it. And that is something I really want to talk about today because I've been hearing and seeing a lot of stuff about the grass being greener on the other side or the grass is greener where you water it. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff like that. So I dug deep into it. I've been reading about it. I've done some research on it. So now I feel like I'm a little qualified to talk to you guys about it and give you a little advice and give you my unasked for 2 cents, okay, on this topic. So let's dive into it. Have you ever caught yourself doom scrolling and suddenly you are knee deep into someone else's quote unquote perfect life? Don't tell me you haven't, because we've all got sucked into a doom scroll before, and suddenly they're vacationing in the Maldives, they're out in Bali, they have these perfect relationships, their skin is always beaming, they have a great job, everything about them just looks perfect, they got a perfect relationship. And this can be a toxic way of thinking because this will suck you into a cycle of wanting the next best thing, the more aesthetic relationship, the cooler apartment, the better job, the better hair. And before you know it, you're not even present in your own life anymore. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You're just daydreaming about a life that probably isn't even real. And don't get me wrong, ambition is great, growth is great. That's all amazing. However, there is a difference between wanting to improve and being satisfied with what you have. And this is what I want to talk about today because we see so many things online and we kind of forget that what we have is great. And a lot of times when we see all these people vacationing in these exotic areas, they have the perfect relationship, everything about them just looks so perfect on camera. And we kind of just forget that we have our own life. This isn't even their real life. This is just what we're seeing online. And it just makes us feel down about ourselves. And we forget that our lives are going to be different from somebody else's. And it kind of makes you envy someone a little bit. Like you're stuck at work, you're working your 9 to 5, and then you see someone on your social media and they're out in Bali eating fruit and they're chilling by the pool, they're at the beach, they're having the best time. But what you're not thinking about is how much or how long did they save to be able to go on that trip? How much debt did they put on their credit card to go on that trip? You don't know their situation and you're just assuming that their life is perfect just because you're looking at it through a screen. You really don't know someone else's life and you're just basing it off of assumptions and what you think is a perfect life and based off of a camera. That's where we need to stop. We need to stop thinking everyone has a better life than us because we truly don't know. We're just assuming, and we need to stop playing this envy game. We need to stop playing this stalking, doom scrolling, getting jealous game. Like, we're not doing that anymore. We need to stop because we're gonna not be present in our own life anymore. We're going to forget what we have going on. We're not going to focus on our own goals because we're comparing our lives with someone else's life and we're so stuck in that cycle and we're just going to throw our goals out the window because we're not focused anymore. When you catch yourself constantly comparing your life with somebody else's life, you're not focusing on what's important to you. You're just focused on looking good on social media and what's going to make it look like you're doing good. You need to focus on making sure you're actually good instead of making sure you look good. There's a completely different scenario when things look good on social media versus when things are actually going good in your life. Focus on your actual goals and what is actually important to you. Stop worrying about what other people see online because that really doesn't fucking matter. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying you should stay in a bad situation just to prove that you're grateful. If you are in a truly bad situation, don't just stay in it just because you're like, oh, dang, I should really appreciate what I have. No, no, no. There is a difference between when you're in a relationship or a friendship that's harmful, toxic, or just plain freaking draining. There is a difference between settling and being content, okay? One is about giving up, and the other is about appreciating what is already good in your life. There is a difference. If you're in a really bad situation, don't be like, oh, dang, like I should just stay to prove that I'm grateful for this person. No, if this person is really toxic for you, you need to get rid of them and you know you deserve better. There's a difference. You need to show up with gratitude and you need to appreciate what's already good in your life. If something's toxic, that's not what we're talking about here. That's just not the topic of today. I also wanted to touch on social media evolving so much. It's insane. I remember back in, I want to say like 7th, 8th grade when there was like AIM, there was Ask FM. Do you remember Ask FM, guys, where everyone would be like anonymous and commenting on people's like walls, asking questions or saying things to people? There was so much drama on Ask FM at my school. People would be anonymous, just talking shit on people, calling them names. There was a lot of bullying, actually. I remember my school had like I don't want to say an assembly, but like they sent out like letters or something like that. I don't remember exactly what they did, but they touched on Ask FM because it was a little wild. Like people were really getting bullied on there and no one could really figure out who it was because it wasn't anonymous. So see what I mean? Like people are going to have balls when they're behind a screen or when their names aren't even attached to it. But anyway, what I wanted to say about AIM and MySpace and all that, everything was very limited to just like a wall post. Like nothing was as extreme as it is now, where we're just constantly seeing every little bit and piece of everyone's life. Like before, it was just like posting statuses. I had a sandwich today. But now everything's like on video. We have to worry about being in the background of other people's vlogs when we're in public. It's just a whole different world and everything is documented. We evolved from like strangers across the country doing little TikTok dances, sharing their hyper curated moments. It's just creates this illusion that everyone is doing better than we are because we're seeing everyone doing so many different things from all different age groups from across the country. Like I see people all the time from Australia, I see London, I see Portugal. I see so many different cultures on my For You page, and everyone's life is going to look different, especially if they live in a different country or a different state. Everyone is posting their highlight reel. I have talked about them only posting their highlight reel so many times on here. I always talk about not comparing yourself to other people on social media because people are going to post the most perfect times. They're going to post the good. They're not going to post when they're broke. They're not going to post when they're struggling. They're not going to post that kind of stuff. They're only going to post when they're on a great trip or they just got a promotion. They're posting the good things that happen. They're not posting the real vulnerable shit, okay? Some people do, but I guarantee you the people you're comparing yourself to don't. And it's just not realistic. We're on social media, everything is just like filtered or they're in a good angle. Like when I'm sitting down, like this, for example, I'm gonna have a roll. See, I have like a little roll. I don't know if you can see it from the way I'm sitting, but I'm sitting like this, I have a roll. But if I angle myself a little bit like this, I don't have a roll anymore. And that roll is my skin, okay? And that is, I hate when people say, oh my God, I hate my body because this person looks amazing. So many people edit their bodies on social media, and you can easily change what your body looks like by a simple pose. Like, it is so crazy what just posing differently can do. Your body can look completely different. You're not going to look the same sitting. You're not going to look the same standing. We need to just stop focusing on the filtered, edited version of somebody's life. And this also goes for like those relationship channels, like the TikTok channels of the couples, or like the pictures of people in these perfect, happy relationships. We only see their cute engagement photos or when they're doing cute little pranks on each other, but they're not posting when they're in extreme fights. We're not seeing all that stuff. We're only seeing when the couple is going on a trip or they got engaged or they're having their first child. They're not posting when they're really not doing good in their relationship. We're only seeing the good in their relationship. So don't think that just because you aren't in this perfect fairy tale relationship, that means you're not doing good. No, relationships are not a fairy tale. They're not like a fairy tale novel. Every relationship is going to have fights. They're going to have twists and turns. Like, we see things on social media and it can make you think, oh, why didn't this person ask me to be their girlfriend with rose petals everywhere? Like, what? Like, relationship isn't a fairy tale. Other people show love in different ways. Not everyone's going to plaster the bed with rose petals. They're not going to put balloons everywhere. Not everyone is going to do that to ask you to be their girlfriend or their boyfriend. And relationships take real work. Like, having a relationship, I always say, is like a full-time job. Not in a bad way, but they do take work. Like, you can't just put in no effort and your relationship will be perfect. You have to put in work from both sides. The girl, the boy, both girls, both boys, whatever type of relationship you're in, both of you need to have or put in the work and show the effort. Sometimes love looks like folding laundry, honestly, and just showing up when you're exhausted. You have to show up for your partner. It's not always going to be perfect. Sometimes a relationship can be 80-20. Like, I don't like this 50-50 shit where people are saying, oh, you need to put in 50% of the work. No, you don't. Because sometimes you're going to be having a bad day and you're going to be at like 20%. But your partner is going to need to be at 80% that day to really lift you up and to help you both in that relationship. It's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows. Someone's going to have a bad day. It's not always going to be perfect. You don't need to be 50-50 all the time, but you need to make sure you have a system and you know how to work together and you are appreciating your partner for who they are. And you're not just going to think, oh, they're having a bad day, I have to break up with them. No, we all have bad days. We are all going through stuff. Life is difficult. There are so many things that can go wrong, and we need to not judge our partners based on them having a bad day. Here's the truth. Even healthy relationships, they're not going to feel romantic and sexy all the time. The honeymoon stage fades, and that's normal. I feel like it's not talked about enough. And what matters is that you feel safe, you feel seen, you feel supported. And once you're comfortable in a relationship, you're not going to be in like full glam all the time. You're not going to be putting on your best outfits for this person anymore. You're supposed to be comfortable with this person. And sometimes your partner might be like, ugh, they're not trying anymore. Like, this happened to me in my past relationship, actually, where I thought I was comfortable with this person and I didn't wear makeup to just like chill in the house. And he was like, why don't you dress up to be in the house? I'm like, why would I put on a full beat just to sit at home? Maybe if we went on like a date or something, yeah, I'll dress up. But what's the point of being in a full beat just to sit in the fucking bedroom? Like, why would I do that? And they see other people when they go out and about and they're like, oh, this person dresses up. Ooh, maybe they're better. But no, that person is single. They're out and about because they're single. They're trying to get the attention, or they're dressed up for themselves. They're out and about and they're on social media. They're not in their room just watching TV. No one's going to be dressed up sitting in their room watching TV or like cuddling, watching a movie. Who wants to sit in a full beat because of that? And walking away from something real and good because you think something better might be out there, that's a risky game. That is a very, very risky game because often we're going to be carrying the same problems into the next situation, the same patterns, the same wounds. Once you get comfortable, because we all get comfortable, that honeymoon stage fades. Like I said, once we're comfortable again, They're gonna do the same exact thing. They're gonna be not dressing up as much. They're not gonna be wearing a bunch of makeup. They're not gonna be quote unquote trying as hard because they're comfortable. And that's the step you wanna get with your person. You wanna be able to be comfortable with them. You don't want to have to be in full glam all the time. You don't want to have to dress up all the time. You want to be your real and true self. You should be able to be both when you're in a relationship. You should be able to have that one side of you that dresses up, looks bomb, yada, yada, yada. And then you should be able to rock your natural self. You should be comfortable. You don't need to be all dressed perfect and uncomfortable the whole time. Like, that's not normal. That is not normal. So instead of chasing the next shiny thing, how about we nurture what we already have? If maybe, let's say your girlfriend isn't dressing up as much and you really want her to, and you've just been chilling at home all the time, why don't you think, oh, maybe I should nurture my girl. Maybe I should take my girl on a date. I feel like it's time we get dressed up, we go on a date together. Maybe do something like that. You need to be nurturing. If you're not watering the grass, it's not gonna be green. And this is what I mean when I say the grass is greener where you water it. Because just because your current partner isn't dressing up anymore or looking like they did when you first started, you need to water the plant. The next person you date, it's going to be the same pattern. It's going to be a pattern because once you get comfortable with each other, that is going to fade. And this also applies to friendships, jobs, love. None of it is perfect, but that doesn't mean it's not beautiful or worth the effort. You need to be nurturing everything. And the same with your job. If you really want a promotion, don't get mad because you haven't gotten there yet. Water the plant. Like, what are you doing to get to that promotion? Don't just quit because you haven't gotten it yet. Have you been putting in the full effort? What have you been doing? Have you been taking the necessary steps to get to that point? And if the answer is no, maybe you should figure it out. And before just randomly quitting on a whim, maybe you should make sure you're watering it and doing the necessary steps in order to get that promotion, because things aren't just going to be handed to you on a silver platter. You need to work for them. Everything you want in life is going to take work. Whether it's your job, it's going to take work. You're not just going to be handed a job. Your relationship, that's the tricky thing about relationships though, is once someone has you, they feel like they don't need to put effort in anymore. I hate that. Like, every time I get into a talking stage with somebody, or no, before the talking stage, I should say, they like reel me in with their sweet words, going on dates, doing this, doing that. And then once it gets a little bit further, they just stop trying because they think they have me. You're gonna lose me real fast if you don't put in effort, because I'm not gonna be the only one putting in effort. It goes both ways. If you're not watering me, I'm not watering you, and I'm gonna skedaddle out of there. We have to water everyone. Water everyone? The grass is greener where you water it. It's not gonna just be green to be green. If you aren't watering an actual plant, what happens to it? It dies. If your partner isn't giving you the things you need, like the attention, the comfort, the reassurance that you need, they're gonna die. Not literally die, but like, you know what I mean. That relationship's going to die. You don't have to chase the next best thing to have a meaningful life. You don't need to compare your journey to someone else's highlight reel. That's not how you get things done in life. You don't need a picture perfect relationship to feel loved and fulfilled. You need to take a deep breath right now. Look around you. Chances are the life that you're living is already pretty damn good. And you just haven't given yourself the chance to really see that yet. You need to be patient with yourself and actually look around and don't take things for granted. Appreciate what you have, because one day it might not be there anymore. Like, the person you're low-key losing because you're not putting in the effort anymore, they might not be there one day, and you're going to regret losing them. So make sure you are treating everyone how you would want to be treated. You need to make sure you're watering the grass, or you're going to lose that person. You don't want to live with regret, because that would suck. Because you think just because you have the person now, they're going to stay. That's not how it is. They're going to get tired of it. They're going to see other people actually putting in the effort to be with them, and they're going to leave you. So you need to make sure you aren't just chasing the next shiny thing and leaving somebody just because you feel like the love is dying because they're not dressing up or like putting in that kind of effort. If you're not taking care of your person, they're going to die. All right, y'all, that is it for today. Don't forget to review, share, and like the pod if you loved the episode, which I hope you did and I hope it was helpful. But I will catch you next Friday with another topic that's most likely been living rent free in my brain because I think of so much stuff every single day on a whim. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? But I just have so much stuff and so many ideas I just want to talk about because I'll be thinking. I just lay in bed at night and just think. Anyway, I hope this episode helped you a little bit and kind of changed your mindset and to show you that you really need to be taking care of the people around you because one day they might not be there anymore. I can't stand when people think the grass is greener somewhere else just because you've gotten comfortable and things look a little different, but they're just not taking care of their person anymore. So if you love someone, don't let them go unless it's toxic. Make sure you're taking care of each other. Water the grass and don't chase the next shiny thing just because you feel like it's dying because it's only dying because they're not being taken care of. So maybe before you think about changing your relationship or your job or any of that, just sit there and think, have I been taking care of this person or this thing? Have I been doing what I need to do to get to these goals? And think about that first before you're just running off into the sunset trying to hee hee and ha ha and chase the next thing. Anyway, I hope this helped you and just make sure you're taking care of the people in your life. Until next time, be kind to yourself, stay grounded. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.